Welcome to Psychominds. Here psychology is made simple, clear, and based on science. Memory is a functional system responsible for encoding, storing, and retrieving information over time. In contemporary cognitive psychology, it is not understood as a single storage unit but as a set of interdependent systems with distinct properties. The classical distinction between sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory was later refined, particularly through the working memory model proposed by Baddeley and Hitch. Long-term memory is subdivided into declarative, explicit, and non-declarative, implicit memory. Declarative memory includes episodic memory, related to autobiographical events, and semantic memory, associated with factual knowledge. Non-declarative memory involves procedural skills, conditioning, and priming mechanisms. This organization demonstrates that different types of information are processed through distinct neural circuits. Therefore, understanding memory requires recognizing its functional architecture and multiple operational modalities. Encoding is the process through which stimuli are transformed into stable neural representations. This process depends on attention, depth of processing, and the emotional relevance of the content. Semantically elaborated information tends to be consolidated more efficiently than superficially processed stimuli. Consolidation involves long-lasting synaptic modifications, including mechanisms such as long-term potentiation, LTP, particularly within the hippocampus. Initially, recent memories strongly depend on medial temporal lobe structures. Over time, systems consolidation occurs, during which memory traces become gradually distributed across neocortical regions. Sleep plays a critical role in this process, facilitating neural reorganization and stabilization of memory networks. Thus, memory is not merely storage but an active process of cerebral restructuring. Retrieval is not a simple act of accessing stored information. It is a reconstructive process. Each act of recall can partially modify the original memory trace. This phenomenon, known as reconsolidation, demonstrates that memories are dynamic and susceptible to updating. Contextual factors strongly influence retrieval, including emotional state and environmental cues. The encoding specificity principle suggests that recall is facilitated when the retrieval context resembles the original encoding conditions. Understanding reconsolidation has significant clinical implications, particularly in interventions targeting traumatic memories, such as in post-traumatic stress disorder. Several clinical conditions involve alterations in memory systems. In major depressive disorder, a memory bias toward negative content is commonly observed. Anxiety disorders often involve heightened activation of threat-related memories. In neurodegenerative conditions, progressive deterioration of episodic memory is frequently one of the earliest symptoms. Hippocampal lesions can severely impair the formation of new declarative memories while preserving procedural abilities. This dissociation reinforces the existence of partially independent memory systems. The study of memory within psychopathology provides insight into how cognitive alterations contribute to symptom maintenance and maladaptive behavioral patterns. Memory is intrinsically linked to neural plasticity. Learning implies modifying synaptic circuits through repetition, association, and meaningful processing. Strategies such as spaced practice, active retrieval, and interleaving have demonstrated greater long-term consolidation efficiency. From an educational perspective, understanding memory mechanisms enables the development of evidence-based teaching methods. Effective learning depends not only on exposure to information but also on the quality of encoding and frequency of active recall. Memory thus constitutes the biological foundation of learning and personal identity, representing one of the central pillars of human cognition. Here on Psychominds, we explain psychology with clarity and scientific responsibility. Subscribe and be part of a community focused on learning and understanding the mind.